folks, JD here, and today we've got this beast. This is the MZ climbing car. It's a 1/8 scale car. We're going to have a little look at it. For this, I'm going to take this box off, we're going to unbox everything, and the next thing you see is this car. Okay then folks, this is what we've got. Look at the size of this thing. It's a 1/8 scale, as I said right at the start, but you really get to see the actual size of it next to your hand. It is absolutely massive. Right, what does this car do? What is so special about it? Well, it's a 6-wheel car. 3 on one side, obviously 3 on the other there, giving you the 6 wheels. We've got one spare on the back as well, which you can unscrew to replace, even though this does look as if the tyre isn't as thick. It is a lot thinner on the back, so if I just flick that around to show you, you've got the thickness of the wheel here, and then you've got the thickness of the spare wheel up here. It really isn't as thick. It doesn't even look as if it is the same size, although you can take it off, which does tell me that it is actually a spare. I think it would be used more for the wheel perhaps, rather than the rubber of the tyre. These tyres are foam filled. They are very, very thick. It's also known as environmental plastic, which can go over multiple terrains. This particular car can go over deserts, it can go over sand, it can go through water, it is amphibious. It can also go up 45-degree inclines. And I want to see exactly how this does. Now you can see from the top, it does say amphibious on here. It says amphibious on the box as well. Now there's no manual with this, so quite literally what you see here is what you get. Now if we turn this over, right, we look at the two motors. Let's look at the back set of wheels first. We have got quite a lot of suspension, main rack suspension on the middle here, with these huge piston suspension racks either side as well. They don't feel oil filled. They might be, but there's nothing on the box to actually say that there is. Now they are quite nice action, but it hasn't got that really nice sinking controlled motion of an oil filled shock, so I'm going to say at this particular time that they're not. But then it wouldn't really matter for this because it is a climbing car, so you need the movement. You don't necessarily need it to be nice and spongy like you would with a fast car. So we've got the front of the wheels as well here. You've got your trim setting here as well, so I'm going to set that to the middle. That means when it's set to the middle that you should have the correct amount of movement, and it should actually go in a straight line. If you find it weighs one way to the left or to the right more, alter this little setting here just by moving it. There's an L and an R to tell you which way is left and right. Here is your battery bay, so once you undo these clips, your battery bay fits inside there like that. It's a 9.6 volt battery that takes up to 3 hours to charge. You can see on the inside here you've got a nice rubber seal, meaning that the battery and the electronics inside would stay nice and dry when you are going through water. So let's put that on there like that, and then you just lock everything back in place, and that is all locked up and you're sealed and ready to go. You've got one motor at the front, and you have then got I think you've got one, let's have a look. Yeah, it certainly looks like this has got 3 sets of motors. You've got the main motor at the front here, but then you've also got 2 other sets here, the middle and towards the back. There are cables coming out of it which are connected into the main internals of the car, so I'm pretty sure that each set of these wheels would be motorized, giving you that up to 45-degree incline, low end torque, low end grunt that you would need from a climbing car like this, from a crawler. Now this thing weighs an absolute ton. It's about 3.5–4 kilograms in weight. It's got a nice suspension action to it. It's got a roll action to it as well, so it's not just up and down, but it does roll side to side, so that's quite nice also. Now that's pretty much about the car. You've got, if we just look at the front, there's no lights, there's no LEDs. You can pop some in there if you want to. There is a hole at the back. Yeah, there is a hole at the back, and there is, looks like, clear plastic on the front here, so if you wanted to fit your own kit, you could probably do that. As for everything else, it looks quite well built. It feels quite well built. It feels very heavy, very rigid, very rugged, like as if you could give this thing a proper battering, and it's not gonna bat an eyelid at all. As for these wheels, so much tread on these wheels right the way around them, from not just the middle but also on the sides, so if you are climbing a camber, then you should be able to climb that without any issue as well. Once again, the suspension racks I notice are a little bit flimsy. They've got a bit of give in them, which is what you'd expect from a crawler, because these wheels are going to be moving all around the place, up and down, left and right. So you need a suspension rack which is going to wiggle a little bit. So don't be put off by that. When you open up the box and think, oh, hang on, that doesn't feel too good, don't try to make them any more stable. You need that, that little bit of movement, just that you get a proper motion from the car, proper climb, and that all the different parts are put on the correct amount of pressure. If you tighten any of these up, the pressure is going to alter. You might end up snapping something. So if I were you, I would totally leave that, see how the first run handles, and then go from there. My only downside for the second, not running this yet, is that the back wheel is a totally different wheel, and it isn't going to fit. So if you do anything to these foam-filled tyres, you're going to have to seek manufacturer's advice and get another one if you can. That I'm unsure of for the minute. Right, that's the car. Beautiful. Now the transmitter, very bog standard transmitter, your left and right action. It's quite flimsy, but then again, as I always say with the transmitter, as long as it works, then you've got no problem whatsoever. Your on and off button is to the left there. You've got your throttle and your reverse there. Likewise on the back, there is no buttons whatsoever, no buttons on the stem either. On the underside, you do have your battery bay door, which has got a little screw in it. So once we line that up and we remove that screw, there is no screwdriver included with this pack. I'll go into the accessories in a couple of moments. So once you slide this open, oh come on, that's very, very stiff. Oh, you need 4 AA batteries in here in order for the transmitter to function. This transmitter does not allow USB charging of any sort, so you have got to ensure that the batteries on here that go in here are fully charged or shop bought. Oh, and then slide on the cover like so. And that is quite literally everything with the transmitter. It says on the box it's got a very long range with it, but it doesn't specify how much. So we're going to give it a try and see exactly how far we get out of it. But I'm pretty sure you should be able to get 50 to 100 meters without any problem whatsoever. Right, so that is your transmitter, very standard. Fits quite nicely in the hand, isn't that big. I think all in all, even though it is really, really thin plastic, I think it's just going to do a job. And honestly, you don't need anything else. Right, accessories wise, very basic accessories with this. What you get is your battery and you get a USB charger. Now, when it comes to your battery, when you come to charging it, you have got to keep an eye on it and make sure it charges properly. But wow, this is really, really tight inside here. Let's give this a bit of a cut and see what's going on inside here, because normally batteries don't come like this. They normally just come in the box itself. So it does worry me that it is sellotaped up as much as this. Has it got a reason to be? It doesn't look like there's any wet on the inside, but we'll soon find out. No, it's bone dry. Okay. Yeah, it's bone dry. Feels like there's a little bit of oil in there, but it doesn't feel like battery acid. I've had that on my skin enough to know. There we go. So this is your battery. It's a 1000 milliamp hour 9.6 volt battery that fits into the bottom here. Quite literally, it is just 8 AA batteries. They're all linked together to give you your power for this particular car. If you are going to do any modifications to it and to the battery, then please make sure that you have the correct voltages. Otherwise, you don't want to be burning out the motors a little bit too fast, because this thing is a crawler, not a fast car. So that is what we get. So we have our USB charger for the battery, about 3 hours approx time to charge that up, but I'll let you know if that differs much from that. As well as you get your transmitter, very bog standard, but that's all you need, as well as your 1/8 scale car. Can't wait to take this out, folks. So with that, please join me in the next couple of days when we're going to be taking this out and putting it through its paces. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy racing.